For 40 years, Jim Reeves wrote about sports in the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, retired from the paper in 2009, but has a new book out called Dallas Cowboys, The Legends of America's Team, and Revo's here to talk about that. Great to see you again, first of all. It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's great to be back, Deuce.
So you're retired, sort of. It took a little work to get this book together. We're going to talk about the current Cowboys as well and some Rangers with you, but I want to talk about the book. It was a fun read. I sort of skipped around and looked at the chapters that interested me in particular as you break it down, the architects of the team, the coaches, the notable players. What was it like taking that walk down memory lane?
Well, it was really fun. It really was. And when the publisher called and asked if I'd be interested in doing it, the challenge was that he wanted to keep it under 200 pages. And trying to put all that Cowboys history in 200 pages was certainly a challenge. But it was fun, and it was fun for me to go back and research those old stories and then to add some of the things that I was able to experience during the 90s when I was covering the team with Troy and the triplets and Jimmy and Jerry and all that. It was a great trip down memory lane.
Again, it's Dallas Cowboys, The Legends of America's Team, available just about everywhere. Cowboys Pro Shops.
Cowboys Pro Shops, Barnes & Noble, Buc-ee's all over Texas. You can order it online from Amazon and Barnes & Noble, from our publisher, Great Texas Line Press. So you just look for it. We'll find it for you.
All right. And I know you spent a lot of time, obviously, in this book writing about Jerry Jones. Let's start there. You were there when he bought the team in '89. You have seen the franchise ebb and flow under his ownership. Where do you think he is right now as an owner here? Is he a guy who's better at building buildings than he is football teams right now?
Well, I would have to say that would be a pretty accurate depiction, Deuce. I mean, obviously he has built a franchise that has no equal in the NFL in the Dallas Cowboys. It's the brand of the NFL, the brand in sports, I think. But it's still been 20 years since they've been to the Super Bowl, and in Jerry's heart, that is number one still. I know he's very happy with where this team is as a franchise and what he's been able to do as an owner. What he would really be happy is putting another championship trophy in there.
He's a finalist for the Hall of Fame as a contributor. Does he belong there?
Yeah, I think he does, absolutely. I think he's contributed to this sport like maybe more than any other owner I've seen, certainly in the time I've been around covering the NFL. He definitely does. At the same time, there are going to be detractors, and they would be also accurate to say, but what has he done with his football team? And Jerry, I think, would be the first to say, hey, I still got work to do there.
Cowboys head into this season with all sorts of question marks. Of course, Tony Romo out apparently for half the season or better. 36 years old. He has the problems with his back. Aikman retired younger than that, primarily because of his back. You think it's possible we've seen the last of Tony Romo as the guy we've come to know, the type of quarterback we've come to know?
It's certainly beginning to look that way, Deuce. You know, I think Tony is such a competitor and so driven to try to win a championship here that he's going to keep trying. He's going to come back and try again. But I think we're one more injury away from seeing the end of Tony Romo's career. And as fragile as he seems to be, that injury could come as soon as he gets back, I'm afraid. I hope that's not the case. I know how much he wants to win. I hope he has a chance to do that.
Yeah, it is starting to look like it's always going to be one thing or another with him physically. And again, you hope that's not the case with Romo, but we'll see what he can do when he comes back later this year. People in the meantime are excited about the rookie Dak Prescott from Mississippi State. What have your impressions been as you've seen Dak mania kind of take over here? He's never played a regular season game.
Yeah, well, I want to see that first before I come to any real conclusions. Certainly, you've got to be encouraged by what we saw in the exhibition season. And there have been, obviously, in the NFL, rookie quarterbacks that have come right out and been successful. Bobby Wilson comes to mind in Seattle. But I want to see what Dak can do under real duress when teams are game planning, and we'll see what he's really got then. But I love the promise that he's shown, and that's what the Cowboys have been needing, a rookie who could come in and show some kind of promise that he might someday be able to replace Tony Romo.
It's just funny how things change. We were talking before we went on, and you look at Troy Aikman when he came in as an overall #1 pick and, you know, really struggled as the whole team did in his first season. But since then, and you know, Quincy came in and played right away. That didn't work out so well. But it's hard to remember another guy from whom so much has been expected so early as a quarterback.
Yeah, and that puts a lot of pressure on him and a lot of burdens on him. I'm not sure that's quite fair. You're right, bringing up Troy. Troy had tremendous expectations, and he wound up in the end, of course, living up to them. But he had some rough times that rookie season. This team isn't as bad as that team was, thankfully.
Baseball, of course, is Jim Reeves' first love. You're a finalist for the Spink Award from the Baseball Hall of Fame for your many years as a Rangers beat writer, and I know you continue to follow this team. Lost to the Astros today, but still have a 9.5-game lead with roughly a month to go in the regular season. What do you make of this team Jeff Bannister's put together?
Well, I think it's Jeff Bannister's team, and it reflects I think it's the grit and determination they show, the willingness to continue to fight against whatever odds they face is a reflection of his personality and what he brings to the team. And I'm really excited about how far the Rangers could go. I was disappointed in Yu Darvish today in that we want to start seeing some consistency out of him. That's one of the things that happens with pitchers coming back from Tommy John surgery, is that inconsistency. Hopefully he's going to find a rhythm before the playoffs. If he does, putting him out there with Cole Hamels, if Derek Holland continues to pitch the way he's been doing, if Colby Lewis comes back strong, they could have they could make a run in the playoffs. I really believe that.
As somebody who covered this team for so long, this franchise, and as I believe a longtime resident of Arlington, how do you feel about a new ballpark being proposed here so early on?
Yeah, I'm not ready to see the ballpark in Arlington go. At the same time, I see the signs up that says "Save our ballpark." My number one priority for me as an Arlington resident is save our team. I want to see the Rangers stay in Arlington, obviously for selfish reasons. They've been there since 1972. I saw Tom Vandergriff move mountains to get them here, and I don't want to see them leave. And if it means building another ballpark to keep them, then I'm going to step up as a citizen and keep them.
All right, back to the book, Dallas Cowboys, The Legends of America's Team. Jim Reeves writes about the significant figures in the history of the franchise. Few seconds left here. Anything going to surprise people when they look at this? Just some fun stories and maybe some nuggets they hadn't heard before.
Well,
right?
the nice thing is, I think Jerry Jones is such a polarizing figure. Still, even I still hear people tell me, I can't stand the guy because he fired Tom Landry, and I think I tried to give people a little bit different insight for him, Deuce, at him and some of the things he's done that people might not know about. And he spent about an hour and a half with me for the final chapter of the book and talked about where the team is now, what he wishes he could do over again. So I think I had some fun with that.
All right, Revo, best of luck with the book. Great seeing you again.
Thank you, Deuce.
All right, Jim Reeves, longtime Star Telegram columnist, our guest tonight.